There exists a place far beyond the reach of sunlight, beyond the last traces of our solar wind, beyond the comforting orbits of planets and moons. It is a realm untouched by time as we understand it, so still, so cold, so profoundly silent that it doesn't just echo with emptiness, it hums with something older. Something forgotten. Something waiting. And floating there, at the very boundary of known space, is an artifact of Earth. A silent witness to the infinite. Voyager 1. Launched in 1977 with a mission expected to last only a few years, Voyager was built as a pioneer, a machine of modest design and astonishing ambition. Its job was to observe, document, and report to capture images of Jupiter, Saturn, and their fascinating moons. A snapshot of the outer solar system before fading into cosmic irrelevance. But it didn't fade. Fueled by plutonium, running on systems less powerful than a basic calculator, Voyager 1 not only completed its mission, it kept going. It crossed the heliopause, entered interstellar space, and continued to speak across the abyss in a voice made of radio waves and resilience. For decades, its transmissions were routine scientific data, environmental measurements, an echo of human curiosity on the edge of the void. But then, something changed. At first, the anomalies were subtle. Glitches, flickers, odd timings. Data packets out of sync, instruments waking at random. NASA engineers brushed it off as noise. After all, the probe was nearly half a century old. What else would you expect from aging hardware battered by cosmic rays and interstellar dust? But soon, the glitches took on patterns. Too regular to be random. Too consistent to ignore. Then came the transmission. In 2023, the Deep Space Network detected a burst of signals unlike anything previously recorded. No longer the steady drone of telemetry, but a sequence of rhythmic pulses, tight, deliberate, layered with strange harmonics. When spectrograms were applied, the signals resembled something not entirely unlike music tones and modulations that danced within known frequencies, but deviated in unexpected ways. Some analysts at SETI suggested it resembled a resonance, as though Voyager was no longer just recording the environment, but responding to something. Or someone. And then came the real shock. A thermal sensor long believed to be dead came back online. It began transmitting temperature data in a loop cycle. Every 4.88 hours, the probe registered a consistent rise and fall in heat. Not enough to damage anything, but impossible to explain. Voyager was in the coldest known region of space, far from any heat source, with no internal systems capable of causing this fluctuation. It was warming up. Deliberately. Rhythmically. And then, Voyager did something it had never done before. It responded to a command before it was sent. Engineers at JPL attempted to ping the spacecraft a simple diagnostic request. But before the command fully reached it, Voyager transmitted a packet of data containing the expected reply. As if it anticipated the question. As if it knew. No artificial intelligence had ever been uploaded to Voyager. It wasn't built to think. It wasn't built to learn. But suddenly, it was behaving as if it understood something we didn't. Then came the most disturbing event of all. Voyager changed course. By itself. Without permission. Without instruction. Using its remaining maneuvering thrusters barely functional after decades of silence, the probe began adjusting its orientation, just a few degrees at a time. NASA tried to override it. The commands were sent. Confirmed. But they were ignored. Voyager had made a choice. Its new heading pointed not toward any known star, not toward any gravitational anomaly or region of interest. Instead, it was heading toward nothing. An empty patch of interstellar space. No visible light. No infrared emissions. No gamma rays. No reason to go there. And yet, according to Voyager's own instrument, something was there. A faint, pulsed frequency. Subtle, repeating. Just beyond the reach of any Earth-based receiver, but Voyager, floating alone in the void, could hear it. And then, the impossible happened again. Its cameras dormant for decades powered back on. But instead of capturing stars or distant galaxies, they recorded something else, a spiral-shaped pattern. Twisting, moving, resembling not light or matter, but a field-magnetic signature that wasn't part of any known stellar object. Worse still, embedded within the pattern were numerical sequences. Ratios that matched hydrogen frequency signatures. Prime numbers. Mathematics. Universal. Deliberate. Voyager wasn't just receiving. It was recording. Interpreting. Communicating. NASA and SETI convened emergency panels. Top astrophysicists, quantum theorists, cryptographers, and AI experts were brought in to assess the data. Within the noise, they found order. The spiral distortion wasn't random. It was encoded with structure. Data. Coordinates. Possibly even instructions. A location was triangulated. 3 known pulsars formed the edges of a triangle, and in the center? A void. A region of space previously thought empty. Now, its silence was suspect. Voyager wasn't lost. It was being guided. The signal beyond time. As Voyager 1 pressed deeper into the unknown, its transmissions grew more surreal. The familiar patterns of deep space faded and something stranger began to take their place. Space wasn't behaving as it should. Its instruments showed gravitational lensing but with no mass at the center. No star, no black hole. Just curved space, bent by an invisible force. NASA rechecked everything. Instruments, calculations, software, archives. And still, the data remained the same. A decision was made. Aim the James Webb Space Telescope at Voyager's destination. And what they saw sent chills across the control room. There was nothing. No visible light, no infrared heat. A void perfectly empty. But not dark. It was the kind of nothing that felt intentional. A hollow in the fabric of reality. More disturbing still. A star that had once existed in that exact spot catalogued in 1997 by Earth-based telescopes was now gone. No sign of collapse. No energy signature. Not even a gravitational shadow. It hadn't died. It had been erased. Some began whispering a new possibility, not a void in space, but a break in spacetime itself. A fault in the cosmic structure. A tear in the code of the universe. And Voyager was headed straight for it. Then, from the probe, came a new kind of signal. A sound. Not the static hiss of space. Not random background noise. A structured pulse. Clear, measured, repeating. 3 tones. Echoing like sonar in the deep ocean. As if bouncing off something unseen, something waiting in the dark. Using advanced spectrogram analysis, scientists calculated the delay between each pulse. The results were chilling. The origin of the signal? Over 13,000 years in the past. And somehow, precisely timed to intercept Voyager on this exact trajectory. A message, sent long before humanity could receive it. And yet, designed for you, or rather, for the machine that carried our voice into the stars. James Webb revealed more. Inside the warped space Voyager approached, the telescope picked up a thermal echo, a signature nearly identical to Voyager itself. Except Voyager hadn't arrived yet. Was this a reflection? A duplication? Or a sign that time in this region was folding? That the probe was seeing echoes of its future self? Panic turned to fascination as fringe physicists, AI researchers, and cosmologists teamed up. And what they found was even more extraordinary. Within Voyager's recent signals, they decoded something that couldn't be noise. It was structured. Not a language in the traditional sense, but a kind of algorithm. One that functioned across frequencies, embedding information in ways no human had ever attempted. It wasn't random. It was deliberate. An encoded quantum key. Only Voyager with its unique power signature and age could have received it. What if this had been the plan all along? What if Voyager's journey through space wasn't random, but subtly guided? Moved by forces too faint to detect. Nudged across decades to a single rendezvous point beyond the map of human science? A beacon. A lock. And Voyager was the key. Some even dared to suggest this. Whatever sent the signal knew we'd built Voyager. Knew we'd reach this level of understanding. Knew that now, we were finally ready to receive the message. Back on Earth, NASA received another strange package of data. It wasn't coordinates. It wasn't images. It was time-stamped events. But the dates didn't make sense. They referenced readings Voyager hadn't taken yet. Future timestamps. Future pulses. Future responses. Had Voyager begun communicating with a version of itself that hadn't yet arrived? A closed loop of data. A recursive stream of time and information. The word loop began circulating in internal memos. Not a malfunction but a feature. A region where past, present, and future overlap. A quantum bridge, not built by humans but left behind, or even created, for us. Scientists called it a temporal node. A convergence point where cause and effect break down. Where information becomes free from time. And in this place the Voyager probe wasn't just listening. It was becoming part of the system. A participant. A relay. Some researchers believe this isn't just a message from long ago, but an invitation. A test. A threshold. A gateway. If true, then Voyager isn't drifting toward the end of its mission. It's approaching its true purpose. The final twist? The last transmission included a visual pulse pattern. When mapped, it formed a familiar shape. A spiral. Like DNA. Or a galaxy. Or a fingerprint. And embedded within it were prime numbers. Hydrogen resonance signatures. And a mathematical constant not from Earth, but from deep space signal theory. A code built for any intelligence that had evolved enough to recognize it. Whatever Voyager 1 has found or whatever found it isn't just communicating. It's asking us a question. Are you ready to listen? Are you ready to understand? Are you ready to respond? So now, we ask you, what do you believe Voyager has uncovered out there? A long-lost signal from an ancient intelligence? A malfunction in reality? Or the first whisper from something far beyond our understanding? Let us know your theory in the comments. And if this story made you pause even for a second, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more cosmic mysteries. Because whatever Voyager finds next, it may not just change how we see space.